Welcome back. Jim Johnson's in the house, and Jim Johnson is well known for being the music guy at Crawdad Days.
You're the music man.
You're the music man.
Well, I always tell people I'm the liaison for music. I kind of go from the guy that actually helps get us the music and bring it to the committee. Jamie Holt has been involved. A lot of people in Harrison know Jamie's up in Branson working, but Jamie has been invaluable over the years with his contacts and negotiation techniques and been able to bring some good bands in.
Which are quite funny, some of them.
Some of his techniques are quite funny. He's very brazen in his conversations with some of these bands and their promoting.
That's what you need.
But he gets the job done.
It does.
But you know what the weather forecast is going to be
I do know what the weather forecast is.
Okay, let's hear it.
Chilly today, hot tamale. I'm sorry.
That's bad.
Oh, Bugs Bunny joke.
Oh.
Thank you. No, it's actually a slight chance of rain on Friday, I believe. It's going to clear out about 11 o'clock Friday morning, and
Oh, cool.
80 degrees and sunny on Saturday.
Awesome. Perfect
Awesome.
weather.
Good.
I don't care what John Sherman says. I don't believe in that jinx thing.
Yeah, John Sherman always says it's going to rain, it's going to rain, it's going to rain. But let's talk about the music. Now, what portion of the music do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the main acts, or do you want to talk about
I'll give you a brief
okay.
rundown on building up to that, and then talk a little bit more about them. The music, we really believe that we, after several years, last year finally figured out the format. We tried heavy on Cajun, heavy on country, rock and roll, this and that, and we decided to try to get a little bit of everything for everybody, with some local acts, a couple local acts, some of the best of the local acts, and then bring in a little for everybody. And last year, I think, was a good example of it working. At the last two bands last year wasn't a place to be. I mean, there was full house all the way up the banks of Minnie Harris Park. And so this year we're going with that same template. We're going to keep working it and see if it works again this year. Dees and Friends, which is Chris Dees and his band. Chris is a great guitar player, and they kick things off at 12:30, just following the Crawdad Eating Contest.
And they were featured on Ozarks Have You Got Talent last year, the talent show last year.
So did a great job.
So this all on Saturday?
This everything on Saturday, starting at noon, right after the Crawdad Eating Contest. And then after Dees and Friends is Aged in Oak. That's some other local guys that are involved. Actually, Jamie Holt's going to, I believe, be playing drums with that group.
Oh, good.
And they'll go at 1:15. Then at 2:30, Rathagen Solace, who is our winner from last year's talent contest. First two groups that I mentioned are going to be more of 80s, 70s and 80s type music, rock and roll stuff, and then Rathagen Solace will turn it up several notches.
Yes, they will.
There will be headbanger type hard rock and roll, and they'll come in and do their thing. And then you talk about changing gears. You go from that to Voices of Glory.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Voices of Glory was in the top 2 or 3 for America's Got Talent. They do everything from a cappella stuff to some other type things. I believe they're going to be having a show in Branson this summer. It's I think a trio, I believe. Family.
I think it's a brother and 2 daughters.
Yeah. And they're just amazing talent, and they'll be real interesting to watch. Then we switched to a country type act with the George Brothers, and Leslie Wright has a connection there. I know my wife Lisa has heard a lot of their music. They're really good.
They are good.
They are really good. They're an up and coming type band that plays more of the today's type country, the stuff you'd hear on the radio today, country music wise. Then at 6 o'clock, Anthony Gomes, and Anthony Gomes is blues guitar. Best way I could describe it is a Stevie Ray Vaughan type. Just tremendous blues guitar player with a band backing him up, and he'll just be really good also. All these guys have websites and are on YouTube. I invite everybody to check them out, and you'll see how good they are. Then the main 2 acts we're real excited about. Aranda, who through some negotiations and this and that kind of came to us a little bit late, but I think it worked perfectly for us. Some of the bands that we'd looked at before we signed them on were a little heavier. We had Blackstone Cherry last year, which kind of heavy, but would have some ballad type rock and roll music. This group, I've listened to everything they've got, and on YouTube, the best I can tell people, if you like Led Zeppelin, if you're my age, or even your age, and you like Led Zeppelin, you will really like Aranda. They play a version of Dazed and Confused and Led Zeppelin that's right on
Yeah.
and just tremendous. They have a lot of their own local stuff. Two Brothers.
They're good showmen too. I mean, some of the
Yeah.
videos you see on YouTube, I mean, they really pump the crowd when they're playing.
Yeah, so I'm just super excited about them. They sang the national anthem the other night at the Oklahoma City Thunder game to start the game off, playoff
All right.
game. So Oklahoma City boys. And then backed by very popular demand, the Kentucky Headhunters. And I like to tell everybody, and for our community, this is a two-way popular demand. We wanted them, and they wanted to come
Oh,
back.
great.
When people come and they know how they're treated here in Harrison and how the response that they get, it was a real easy sell, Jamie said, when he talked to them. They said, oh, we loved it. We'd come back to Harrison. Yes, we're ready
Great.
to go.
And they're such easygoing guys too. You wouldn't think that because they on the exterior appearance they're rough looking. You look like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, Kentucky Headhunters is what they look like.
Yeah, and what I've found over the years, Dan, is those guys that have had success, I mean, those guys, Grammy Award winners, you know, have Country Music Awards, been around. Those kind of guys are usually pretty easygoing. Sometimes it's those wannabe type guys
Sure.
That are
that have an
a little-
attitude.
right.
But these
Right.
guys,
Well,
these guys are tremendous.
Can you tell our audience what their requirement for food is? Because some of the upper bands, they want some elaborate things.
We've had things in the past where we've had a thing that said, you know, looks like you read in the books that they wanted M&Ms but take out the green ones, or, you know, they wanted a certain kind of this and that and the
Very
other thing.
specific.
No, the Kentucky Headhunters want to make sure when they got here to set up that we had some Egg McMuffins for them.
Okay, well, that's
Okay, some Egg McMuffins and a little bit pizza, and they're going to be
That's
just
it.
fine.
They're happy with it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so I invite everybody to come out. I think you can come and stay all day and hear a variety of music, or if there's a certain genre that fits you pretty well, just come and see it. But I expect they did last year, and you know, probably the Kentucky Headhunters stick around a little bit after the show, sign autographs. So bring your T-shirts. You can buy T-shirts. All the last couple 3 bands will have T-shirts available for sale. But just super excited. Like we said, a lot of hard work by everybody involved, and we think it's going to be a success.
Yeah,
Great
and we want to
musical
make
lineup.
sure that everyone knows that all the music is free. Everything down at the Crawdad Days event is absolutely free, except for the food. You got to buy the food.
And that's unique to this festival. I know Anna Marie has told me several times she'll get emails at the chamber, and people will say, "Now, come on, you're kidding! The music's free. I mean, you get to do this for free." And the answer is, yeah. This is the chamber. This is a give back to the community that the chamber does every year, and it's providing this music, and happy to do so.
Okay.
Great.
Jim,
lineup.
thanks thanks so much for being here, and we'll look forward to working with you next week.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay, who's up next?
Up next, we have John Burnside and Marsha Carter to talk about the 5K race. Stay with us.